Rubber is a 2010 comedy horror film about a sentient tire named Robert, his journey through the desert of the American Southwest, and the trail of bodies he leaves behind. But unlike my journey through the Southwest, this trail isn't one of deeply dissatisfied women, but one of pure carnage as a result of Robert's psychokinetic abilities. I recently remembered this movie after having not seen it since I was about 14, and I remembered thinking it was at least mildly entertaining at the time, so I figured I would give it a rewatch and see if anything changed. And I was, unfortunately, disappointed. While Rubber has an interesting premise that seems, at the very least, like it could result in the fun, schlocky B-horror entertainment we all love, it commits the greatest sin that any movie of this kind can. It's boring. And I don't say that it's boring purely because there are long stretches of time where nothing happens. I'm not some knuckle dragger who can't appreciate a quiet moment or a long and drawn-out dialogue exchange between characters in a film. The movie is boring because in these quiet moments between Robert's random acts of violence, it isn't trying to say or do anything. And don't just take my word for it. The opening monologue of the film is an artistically nihilistic and simplistic take about how everything that happens in movies, including this one, happens for no reason.
In Love Story, why did the two characters fall madly in love with each other? No reason. In Oliver Stone's JFK, why is the president suddenly assassinated by some stranger? No reason. Because life itself is filled with no reason. Ladies, gentlemen, the film you are about to see today is an homage to the no reason.
And at first, when you watch Rubber, you might think that this might be some sort of meta-commentary about the vapid consumerism of the film industry, or how we've stopped creating art for art's sake, or even about how people like me might try to look too hard for some kind of message in the media we consume. But it doesn't really say any of these things. Rubber spends so much time hitting you over the head with the fact that it's meaningless and has no message that it forgets to do anything particularly fun or interesting with its ridiculous premise, despite the fact that it absolutely had potential. And the story that it does have doesn't even feel like a particularly coherent narrative. The framing device of the movie is interesting. After the opening monologue, it's revealed to us that a group of people are out in the desert to watch a film, and I use air quotes here because it's not really a film. These people are viewing what happens as it happens in real time through pairs of binoculars over a period of several days. And I hope that you don't want any answers to why any of that is happening, because you won't get any. You won't even be able to draw any logical conclusions based on context clues, because there are none. After not being fed for 2 days, the audience is finally given food in the form of a turkey that is unceremoniously dropped from a sack onto the ground and immediately ripped apart and consumed by everyone, except for this lone audience member who forgoes his food to continue watching the film, which turns out to be lucky for him because, surprise, the turkey was poisoned. But don't fucking ask why this audience was watching the film, why they were poisoned and killed, or why the movie isn't allowed to end until all the audience members are dead, because don't forget, according to the opening monologue, everything in this movie happens for no reason. And yeah, some of you guys are probably typing comments right now like, did you expect the psychokinetic tire movie to make sense? And the thing is, kind of. Like, I don't need to have a logical and rational explanation for why Robert exists. I'm already sold on that. You don't need to give me a reason why he can apparently grant sentience to other tires, or at the very least, create some sort of tire hive mind like we saw at the end of the movie. You don't need to explain why he has a weird fascination with this hot foreign woman. And you don't even need to explain why the audience is viewing the movie through binoculars in the desert. But I would like to know why they're all suddenly killed for seemingly no reason, or get some kind of hint as to who's pulling the strings here and why. This movie is so far up its own ass about not having a message that it forgets to be a movie. I will say that despite the messaging being annoying, Robert is a fun character. And I genuinely found the scene toward the end of the movie where he's watching a bunch of guys burning tires from behind a fence, and it dramatically zooms in on him, only to flash forward 3 days later and show a complete massacre at his hands, well, mind, I guess, to be incredibly funny. And there are funny and good scenes in this movie. It isn't all bad. I think that the scenes of Robert rolling around the desert are actually strikingly beautiful. I think the scene of him watching TV in his motel room, or the scene where the motel housekeeper finds him in the shower are hilarious. I just think that what's good about Rubber gets bogged down by the incessant nothing matters and there's no reason for anything attitude of the overall story. Not everything has to have a point, and not everything has to have a reason, but I still would like some movie with my movie. That's all I have for you today, guys. If you like this video, please consider subscribing, giving the video a like, or leaving me a comment telling me what I should cover next. And as always, guys, my name is Isaiah, and thank you for watching my video.